Welcome back to Digiverse, guys. With the new starter decks and BT8 just around the corner, I thought I would take a look at the green-blue Imperialdramon starter deck and see how we can upgrade it to the next level for it to be highly competitive in the new BT8 meta. I'll start off by seeing how the starter deck stacks up as a product compared to other Digimon products, and follow that up with a card by card of what you actually get in the deck. And then see how you can take cards from outside the starter deck into this deck and see how it upgrades and performs from there. After that, we'll do some combos to demonstrate its exact power. By the way, guys, if you like what you're seeing, please consider giving a sub. Also check out our giveaway we've got going on right now. It'll be linked in the description below. 12 packs of BT8 for just subbing and commenting on that video, giving it a like. Very simple to do, and I'd really appreciate it. So starting off, this starter deck is following the trend that the starter decks have been following recently. Well, not recently, but since pretty much the beginning, where they started very generic and simple in terms of card design and application of those cards, going into more focused and targeted strategies. So you would have seen in the original starter decks with blue, yellow, and red, they all had very simplistic cards. Some gave +1 security attacks, some gave some generic minus DP, some gave some spending effects, but they didn't have a specific strategy for how you really wanted to play the deck. Then in the next wave for green, black, and purple, you did have some more strategy and focus there, but we didn't really see some specific cards working in combination with each other until we had the red structure deck, Digimon, and the blue structure deck for All Force Digimon. But now, with these multicolored decks, they're extremely strategized and extremely focused. And that's why the starter deck is going to be extremely valuable as a product if you want to play the blue-green Imperialdramon deck. If you're looking for it for generic support for a different kind of blue deck or a different kind of green deck, then this starter deck might not be for you. There aren't too many generic cards for this deck to apply to different kind of decks. So it's kind of like the first step away for starter decks to have non-generic cards, because even in the red Galantmon starter decks, you still had generic cards like the Greymon that came out as security for play. And you do have cards like that in here, but they're not as easily splashable into other decks. But if you are looking for a single deck to act as a base and then improve from there using that same concept, design, and strategy from the starter deck, then this is A+. It's absolutely brilliant and definitely competitively viable in BT8. It's also quite simple to learn. Its power ceiling can be very high, but its mechanics as a whole are very gentle on new players. So I definitely recommend this if you're just coming into the game now and you want something rather budget-wise to start off with. And of course, very quick to learn. So laid out here is all the cards you get from the starter deck. We'll start with the babies, of course. We've got Mastemon, +1k if you have a blue Digimon play. Simple, easy, very, very easy to get out, especially when you have multicolored Digimon and you're running a good mix of different colors with blues and greens. All your rookies can evolve over this one, because even if, for example, Vmon here is blue, they can evolve over a green egg here. And that's the same with our Betamon and our Wormmon. They can all evolve over any color blue and green. So if you wanted to run a blue egg swapping out for something you have in a different blue egg you got from a different set, you can definitely do that. Onto rookies. We've got 2 of the Vmon. When played, you can search top 3 and then add 1 free card from the revealed. That's really good considering almost all of these cards are free, and you can easily update the deck to have only Digimon that are free. Betamon, really nice vanilla for 0 cost Evo, 3 cost to play. There are better Evos out there, better vanillas out there. There is a Betamon that is 2 cost, I believe, on hard play. But this one's the only one that can evolve over greens as well. That's a blue card. That is a vanilla. So for that, it's good, but otherwise, you can probably get away with playing a different rookie, and this is probably one of the first cards you'd replace when you upgrade the deck. Final 2 rookies. This is the only card that can't evolve over the blue, unfortunately. This one gains Blocker if you have a blue Digimon in play, super easy to get out, and it's a very cheap rookie to hard play if you're in a desperate situation. You also got the Wormmon, 3 cost hard play, 0 to evolve over either colour. As an inherent effect, you can DNA Digivolve one Digimon and one other Digimon in play into a Digimon card in your hand. Its DNA evolution cost. This is really good to escalate levels at the end of turn, so you can get a really strong guy. This is really good to extend your plays at the end of turn, going into your DinoBeamon or your Imperialdramon for 0 cost, because there's 0 cost for evolution, so no extra cost for you. And you will get the DNA Digivolving effects from all those too, which is really nice for an end play to stun your opponent's board and potentially advance your plays. It will also unsuspend your Digimon, which will take them out of potentially risky situations. On the champions, we've got 4 of the XVmon. It's 3 cost hard play when you have a green Digimon in play, so you reduce it by 1 where it's 4, it would be 3 to hard play. It also has the inherent effect of when attacking the green Digimon in play, this Digimon gets 1000 DP. Very easy to get when you have lots of ways to get multiple colours on the board. Paralleling with that, we've got Stingmon, which is the exact same effect but reversed for a different colour. So when you have a blue Digimon in play, its play cost is 3 instead of 4, because you reduce it by 1. And then when attacking, if it's a blue Digimon, you draw a card as an inherent effect. Very easy to get. And that's 4 of each of those, and the only other champion that you get with it is 2 of the Sneemon, and its effect is when it's battled while it's in security, it plays itself without paying the memory cost, and when it's on play, it suspends one opponent's Digimon. This is nice when it comes to security because your opponent might think they have a game on board with Wide Swings. When this card comes out, you can suspend a Digimon, and of course this card battles a Digimon that attacked it in security. So potentially saving your butt there, which is quite nice. But out of hand on play can be rough, considering that it is 6 cost. On to ultimates. We've got 2 of the Imperialdramon. This is probably the best of the DNA Digimon that comes in the starter deck. So 0 cost when you DNA Digivolve with a level 4 and a level 4. That means stacking 2 level 4 Digimon on top of each other, following the color order that is on the layout here. So it would start with blue on the top and then green on the bottom. So when DNA Digivolving, return one of your opponent's Digimon with 6000 DP or less to the bottom of the owner's deck. That's really good bio removal, especially for blockers. And then when attacking unsuspended Digimon, really nice to get multiple hits in with the Imperialdramon, which is why I think it is the best of the 2 when compared to the DinoBeamon. DinoBeamon's still very good. So this one's effect activates not just when DNA Digivolving. So when evolving, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, and then it has the additional effect if you DNA Digivolve it, that a Digimon doesn't unsuspend during your opponent's next unsuspend phase. So that's really good for stunning an opponent's guy and slowing down their board. DinoBeamon also gives an apparent effect, unlike the Imperialdramon, where the Digimon gets 1000 DP for each of its colours, which is really good when you stack up into your megas here. The final ultimate is DualBeamon, which is just a 2 cost over a level 4, vanilla. Good stats with 7000 DP, but you're generally just looking at that 2 cost over level 4, so you can scale up into your level 6s faster. Otherwise, this is one of the other first Digimons to replace as soon as you upgrade the deck, because you'll definitely want more of the Imperialdramons. Onto Megas. We've got 4 of the Grand Quagamon. This is pretty good, +1 security attack, as well as when Digivolving, this Digimon gets 4000 DP. Really strong guy when you attack in security at 15k. On the turn that it Digivolves, of course, for 2 security attacks, it's just really strong. It's a really good vanilla card for just green, but it doesn't combo well with the deck because there's no interaction that this card has specifically with other Digimon in the deck, besides just getting extra DP from inherent effects like the XVmon here, +1000 if it's green, and the DinoBeamon where it's plus 1k for each of its colours. So you can make it really big and make sure it survives the security, but that's about it. The last Mega, Imperialdramon Dragon Mode. 4 cost Evo over any colour. Here's the effect. When Digivolving, you can play 1 level 4 or lower blue Digimon card and or 1 level 4 or lower green Digimon card from its evolution cards without paying their memory cost. This is really nice to do when you have a DNA Digivolve stack, say an Imperialdramon with both XVmon and Stigmon underneath it. When you evolve over into a Dragon Mode, then you can use its effect to play the Stigmon and the XVmon, and then you can use those Digimon again to DNA Digivolve into a Imperialdramon another time. Or of course Dynavimon. This also activates on-play effects, such as the Sneemon's on-play suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. On to options, we have 2 of the Megadeth. So Megadeth is a multicolored card, which means as an option you have to have both a blue Tamer or Digimon in play, or a blue Digi-Egg in your nursery zone, as well as a green card in play or a green card in your nursery zone too. So typically to get this off, you'd have multicolored Digimon like a Imperialdramon already on the board, or maybe say a blue Tamer in combination with a green egg, like you have a green Minomon and a blue Davis or in the board. So its effect, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, that's strong, then return one of your opponent's suspended Digimon to the owner's hand. So this is instant removal if your opponent has a Digimon that is a threat, or it can suspend a blocker if you want to hit hard, or it can suspend something for you to run over and then bounce something that's already suspended. So there's lots and lots of applications for this card, especially considering that it's only 5 cost, when something comparable for just bouncing over the hand is 7 cost Kakoda's Breath. But of course conditions are high in order to activate it, where you need both a blue and a green colours. We've also got Hell Masquerade, you get 4 of these. Main, one of your Digimon get plus 2000 DP for the turn. Then if you have a blue Digimon in play, one of your Digimon gets piercing as well. This actually combos pretty well with Grand Kawagamon. If you can give this piercing plus more extra DP, you can run over some really big guys, considering it'll be 15 on the turn of Evo, plus 2017, you can run over pretty much anything then. With piercing, it will hit for 2 checks with security attack plus 1, that's really nice. So that is one card to combo out with the Grand Kawagamon, but you do need the blue Digimon in play in order to get the extended effect. And the last option card is Flower Cannon. This is the most generic card of the whole starter deck. So you just, for 2 costs, suspend your opponent's Digimon, very simple. And its inherent effect, its security effects, suspend your opponent's Digimon without blocker. Just super solid, always been a solid card since BT1. So that wraps up every card to get out of the box. Let me load up the deck that I built from upgrading from cards from BT8 and older sets, and let's see just how strong it can get. So here's the full deck. I just want to say that I'm extremely happy with the way this came out. So we'll start off with the eggs. Demi-Vmon here. Draw a card if you have jamming. I've structured this deck to focus on jamming and unsuspending, a strategy that was key in the starter decks, being unsuspending, but adding the extra element of jamming is really nice to make sure your Digimon survives so it can unsuspend and to hit again into the security. So getting a draw when you have jamming, something that you have quite often, is very easy to do and really nice to fill your hand with. 4 of the Vmon with jamming going into rookies. This is probably the best rookie that you have. Guaranteeing living in security is really nice, so you can Evo over it and then potentially extend plays with unsuspending. Plus getting the guaranteed draw off the Digi-Egg is really nice too. 2 of the Syakomon. Reducing evolution cost is going to be very strong in BT8, considering that there is cards in the yellow-purple starter deck that reduces evolution costs, as well as hybrid cards from BT7 that will be leaking into BT8 that do reduce evolution costs as well in the level 5 evolution. It can potentially be substituted by the memory blocker Madoki Betamon as well. Because memory blocking is always very strong in pretty much every format now. One of this Vmon revealed top 4 at a 2 color. So this one is a new Vmon from BT8. You do have quite a couple of 2 color cards, but I'm only running one of this because the other searcher, this one, is just frankly better because you have more targets with it. So this Vmon adds any Digimon with free, and I've created this deck in such a way where every single Digimon has the free trait. So if you reveal a Digimon from the top with this deck, with the discard, then you're going to get a Digimon. Apologies, there's actually one Digimon that doesn't have free, and that is the level 7. But we will go into that later. Besides that level 7, every single other card is searchable. Oh, and actually, Sukumon. Sukumon's not searchable. But other than those two, yeah, every single card is searchable. And then finally, 4 of the Wormmon. The inherent effect's really good to get the removal on the end of the turn, and the fact that it can evolve over a blue egg is also really nice too. On the champions, this X-Vmon is the second MVP of the deck behind Vmon for it having jamming and to give inherent jamming. Now this inherent of jamming for anything with free in its traits. Now remember, all our Digimon that are level 5 or even level 6 have free in their traits, so they're going to have jamming if this card has goes into its inherent, which is really strong considering that you have Imperialdramon here, which unsuspends when attacking. Contending champions, we've got Stingmon, 3 cost on play if you have a blue Digimon. It can evolve over any blue guy, which is really nice, and gives you that green combo when you want to DNA Digivolve. And rounding out the champions, Ragemon. Ragemon's super good because it counts as both a blue and a green, so if you're missing colors, this can count for either one of those for the DNA Digivolve. It's only 2 costs when you evolve over a Vmon. Remember that, because being 3 costs evolving over a green egg is actually very costly, and it can't evolve over generic blue Digimon. So make sure you're evolving over Vmons, or you're evolving over greens as well, because this card can't actually evolve over Syakomon here. So be wary of that, despite it being a blue Digimon. Onto its effects, armor release is really strong too, so you can hit with a Vmon here for jamming and then evolve over into a Ragemon, suspend something, and then use that Ragemon as protection, so if they were to run over it, you have a Vmon with jamming next turn. You can also use it when it's different effect to suspend a level 4 or lower Digimon, and then potentially run over it, because 5 cost is still kind of strong, and if it clashes with another 5000 DP Digimon, it will just armor purge or armor release back into its previous form, such as the Vmon with jamming. Under level 5s, we've got 4 of the Imperialdramon. This is the strongest one. 0 cost when DNA Digivolving, or 4 cost when you evolve over a level 4 Digimon. When DNA Digivolving, return a 6000 DP to the bottom of the deck. Really strong to remove blockers or any weaker cards that are potentially nuisances like Bugomons. And then when it swings, it unsuspends itself, which is really strong considering you can easily give it a jamming, as well as getting bonus damage on security, or potentially attacking 2 separate Digimon. So you can combo Imperialdramon with the Ragemon, who suspend a level 4 or lower Digimon, and then just attack over it and unsuspend again with the Imperialdramon. Dino Beamon, pretty good as well, but not quite as strong as the Imperialdramon, considering that Imperialdramon can attack twice and reduce security. So this is really nice to stun really high cost Digimon like level 6s or even level 7s, and then potentially you can evolve over the Dino Beamon to potentially run over that suspended Digimon, especially considering you will be getting bonus DP when you evolve over the Dino Beamon through the inherent effect. On to the level 6s, 3 of the Imperialdramon Fighter mode. So 2 cost when you're evolving the Dragon mode is here, but this one is more important. So when Digivolving returns them, that's 10,000 DP or less in his hand. Really nice to remove blockers or troublesome cards. It won't be able to remove most level 6s unfortunately, and then when attacking effect, if it has a blue Digimon you can unsuspend it, and if it has a green Digimon you can suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. So when you swing you can suspend an opponent's Digimon, and if it has a blue you can unsuspend this card so you can run over that suspended Digimon. This is really nice for clearing boards, as well as hitting for game with those 2 swings. And also suspending blockers, so you can get those 2 swings off. Really nice. Capping off your level 6s, the Dragon mode, you know what this card does, plays the level 4s. Not too many combos in this deck with the Imperialdramon besides the DNA Digivolving, considering that we did take out the Snymons. But Raydramon, it being played, is nice too because it counts as a color, so you can easily get the DNA Digivolving. The last of the Digimon is the level 7 Imperialdramon Paladin mode. This is the strongest Digimon in the game at 16,000 DP. You can reduce the cost evolution by 4 if you return a white Digimon level 7 from your trash to the bottom of the deck. This isn't going to come out too often considering you're only running 2. It's actually quite difficult to put cards in the trash without them going in the trash naturally through battling or being destroyed while on the board. So you're mainly going to be looking at when evolving when attacking effect. It is 7 cost to go over level 6. So when Digivolving when attacking, you may return 1 card with 2 colors from this card's evolution cards to the bottom of the opponent's deck to trash all your evolutions from one of your opponent's Digimon. Then return all of your opponent's Digimon with no evolutions to the bottom of the owner's deck in any order. This is just really good removal, as well as getting it twice for when Digivolving when attacking every turn is just really solid. Just super solid. On to options. 1 Ice Wall. Just super good. Really good to earn out an extra turn that you probably didn't deserve, and stop your opponent from hitting from game if they go super wide. Double Mega Death is really good. Super easy to get those conditions off for the blue and the green, considering you have multiple dual color cards in all your level 5s, all your level 6s, some of your level 4s, and as well as Tamers here too. Hidden Potential Discovered is actually really nutty, considering that you have a lot of unsuspending effects. So you can do this to reduce a evolution of a Mega or even Imperialdramon Paladin mode by 5, reduce it by 5. To make these super cheap, would make the Megas free and the Imperialdramon only 2 cost. And then through their effects, or through other effects, you can unsuspend them. So that it's just really good. As well as you can just do it to smaller Digimon, say you already had a Vmon just sitting around on the board, or maybe a Suikamon because you're locking down your opponent's evolutions. You can suspend them and then make the evolution cost for your Imperialdramon Fighter mode really cheap. Finally, on the Tamers, we've got 3 of the Davis. Davis, super solid card. Unfortunately, of course, it is rising in price, but that's just because it's such a good card. It can search both a blue and a green Digimon from the top of the deck, from the reveal 3, and it will always hit your memory to 3 as well, which is just super solid. Then capping out the last of the Tamers, we've got Davis and Ken. So effect reads, if you have a blue Digimon in play, gain a memory, and if you have a green Digimon in play, gain a memory. It's one of those fake memory retainers that give you 2 memory if you have a blue or a green on play. And then when a Digimon that has 2 colors or more Digivolves, you may spin this Tamer and unspend that Digimon. So that's the combo I was telling you about with Hidden Potential. So you potentially hit a lot with the Imperialdramon. So for example, let's do the combo. Actually, I'll tell the combo very soon. In fact, we can do the combo right now. We'll dive straight into Tabletop Simulator and I'll show you the combo. Alright, so here's the main combo of the deck. I've added a couple extension cards because I want to show its full power. So you can potentially go just stop halfway but do a lot of damage if you don't have all the cards in your hand. But this is the full extent of the combo. So you can hit here. This is double jamming, considering that Vmon has jamming and XVmon has jamming. You'll get the draw of the Demi V. So you get the draw here. this is our hand here, and our Davis Ken is on play. So security check twice, we've got jamming, so we can ignore the DP. We can then evolve the Vmon into Stingmon for 2 cost. We'll get the draw. And then we can take these and DNA Digivolve into your Imperialdramon, your Imperialdramon, for 0 cost. Get the draw. Then it unsuspends through mechanics of DNA Digivolving. You can hit, and then through its effect, it will unsuspend itself. We'll of course get the removal for Digimon, but in this scenario, it doesn't really matter what's on the opponent's board. So we'll hit, unsuspend. It's got jamming through the XVmon here, inheritable for free, and of course this is a free Digimon. So that's 3 checks. We can then use Hidden Potential Discovered to suspend our Imperialdramon to Digivolve into an Imperial. So that's 0 cost, we'll get the draw. And then we can activate Davis and Ken to suspend it. And this will unsuspend our Imperial Fighter Mode. Then we can swing with Imperial Fighter Mode. It has both green and blue Digimon underneath it, so it will unsuspend and suspend an opponent's Digimon. So we'll check again. And then we can hit one more time. And it always has jamming, so this check, DP doesn't matter. So that's 5 checks with only 2 memory, and that's the full extent of that combo there. You can do the same combo without the Davis Ken and without this and without this, and just do 4 checks with the Imperialdramon. That's really strong too, and then follow it up with just a guy on board. And then you're threatening lethal next turn because you have 2 bodies. That's just really strong too. So even with a very short midway combo with that Imperialdramon, it's really devastating considering you can do 4 damage with jamming, and then just threaten lethal by putting guys on board. Just super strong with only 2 memory. So overall, this deck is extremely consistent and extremely powerful, and very, very easy to learn. Unfortunately, it won't be budget considering it does use a lot of SRs from the BT8 set, such as Imperialdramon Fighter Mode, as well as secrets such as Imperialdramon Paladin Mode as well. But you can play a little bit cheaper by discounting the Imperialdramon Fighter Mode and substitute them for things like Chaosmon. Chaosmon can actually do pretty well with the green-black one. To get an extra attack in on your opponent's Digimon with piercing can be pretty strong too. So that wraps up the profile. If you want to see this deck in action, tomorrow I'll be doing a collaboration with my friend BryanDoWork, where I'll be taking this blue-green deck against his purple-yellow starter deck upgraded 2. It's going to be really fun considering both decks are going to be at their highest power potential, and we're going to see just how impactful these decks can be. And with that, thank you so much for watching, subscribe to enter the giveaway, and I'll see you next time.